Hi there, I decided to do something a little different today, and instead of telling you about A Place to Die For in 2,200 characters or less, I decided to tell you this way. This book is by A. M. Strong and Sonia Sargent, published by Thomas and Mercer, and I received an advance copy, which is autographed. And the first thing I saw when I opened the box is this missing persons poster. So right away, I'm drawn into a mystery that I know nothing about, but I'm wondering who this woman is, where she's been, and has she been found. They also sent me this cute little bee toy. Isn't that adorable? A very attractive temporary tattoo. Nice design. And a little gift box in which there's a very lovely necklace. It's a crescent moon with a note from whoever gifted the necklace to Luna. Who's Luna? But the person who sent it tells Luna she's being watched. Okay, so I haven't cracked the cover of the book, and there are two mysteries about two women, and I'm already invested. Smart marketing. Also, smart writing from these two authors. This is the first time I've read their work, but let me tell you what they did right that makes this a book I can recommend. Number one, their two main characters, Jordan and Sam, are very likable, and you gotta have a character you can root for, right? They've been through a tragedy, and they've had some really bad luck, and they're nice young kids. They're engaged, they're in love. She's trying to establish her business as an interior designer. He is an attorney, so obviously I'm going to like him already, right? And he works for a nonprofit that works to preserve historic buildings in Boston. And they get a chance to move into a co-op that is an old historic building from the 1890s in Boston. And it's one of those Gothic looking buildings, right? Like on this cover, you can see what the building is supposed to look like. It's called the Glendale. And it's one of those places with the chandeliers in the lobby and the old cage kind of elevator that sort of cranks up and down, as the doorman leaves his post to help you in and out of the elevator and crank or push buttons or whatever it is that they have to do to make those things go. And it's a charming apartment with a balcony, and it's really everything they could wish for, especially after what they've been through. The authors tell the story through two narratives. One is a first-person narrative from someone only identified as him. And the timeline for that is then. Another mystery. Who's this person? When was this written? And it's creepy. So if you're reading at night by yourself, home alone, you may want to get up and lock the door and put the alarm on because whoever this guy is not a nice fellow. Okay? And the other narrative comes from Jordan. It's a first-person narrative, and it sort of details all of the things that happen before they move into the apartment, in the process of getting the apartment, moving in, getting settled, and her interactions with the board of directors who approved them to live in the apartment and now want her to be the interior decorator for a coffee shop that they want to open in using some vacant space on the first floor of the building. It all goes bad. You know that, right? It's a great mystery because they drop hints, they leave evidence in the narrative, but you don't know if Jordan is reliable or not. You don't know if it's really happening or not. And I loved a good mystery that stumps me. I had lots of theories as I was going along. I was evaluating the evidence. I was drawing inferences. I was doing all the stuff I'm supposed to do as a reader and a lawyer, right? But guess what? I guessed wrong. I didn't figure it out, which is fun. I love when I don't figure it out, right? Because I like to be fooled by a really smart mystery, and they fooled me. So bravo. And the other thing that I think they did right is they kept the pacing moving along. They kept the chapters short and action-packed, and they populated this story with a bunch of supporting characters that are fascinating in their own right. Some of them, well, let's just leave it at that. They're very fascinating, and don't believe everything. Don't take anything at face value. How's that? That's a good way to put it. They wrapped the story up with a big dramatic conclusion. And I just devoured the book. I started reading it late at night, and I was up much later with the door locked, and finished it the next day. You can easily read this book in one day because it just zips along. It's clever. But the third thing that they did that was really smart is they gave you something to think about. Now, I don't want to just read a book for the sake of reading a book and being entertained. I mean, sure, I want to be entertained like anybody else, but I want some meat on those, characters' bones and on the narrative page. And I want an issue to think about. And they gave me one. You won't know what it is till you get to the end and the big revelations about what's really been going on. But when you get there, you will find there is a very thought-provoking theme underlying this whole story that you can have a great discussion with your book club friends about. It involves professional responsibility, obligation, and here's just a little hint. The ripple effect. Everything we do, everything we say affects other people. We don't always see the impact. We don't always know about it. But we do impact other people. People we don't even know. People come up to me sometimes and talk to me about cases that I handled years and years ago. They had a connection in some way to a case. I don't know them. I've never heard of them. And then I suddenly meet them and I go, oh, that's interesting. We're all connected in some way on this earth. And they give you something to really walk away with from this story, which I think is the mark of a really good mystery. A really well thought out, well plotted, well executed mystery. So I recommend the book. I think you'll really like it. Run out and get it. Make it a bestseller for these nice authors because they sure did a good job and they worked hard on it, I'm sure. Thanks.